Joining us now, she was a second team All Sun Belt performer last year and is off to an incredible start this season in the top 25 in the nation in many offensive categories, including top five in homers with 13, 25th in RBIs with 35, and then 17th in the country in slugging 933. She's part of a dynamic offense in Coastal Carolina. They're off to the 24-6 record. I speak of junior Delaney Keith joining us here on In the Circle at D1 Softball. How you doing?
I'm good. Thank you for having me.
What have you learned about this team here through 30 games as a team? What have you all learned?
I've learned that we are very powerful, that we work very well as a team, and that we don't let we work pretty well with adversity, and so but we all work together as a team really well. So it's been really good through these first 30 games.
What's it been like? Because you've gotten more attention this year. What has that been like from a process standpoint? Because people took notice of you earlier in the year. We'll get to it when you beat Georgia Tech and you beat Kentucky, and of course, most recently you beat South Carolina. How have you individually, yourself, and then as a team, have handled now all of a sudden this process of a little more attention from outside, from the softball country?
Me personally, I love it. Like it keeps me motivated, especially like just even like outside of practice and games, like it keeps me motivated to put in more work on the outside to know that that because of this newfound just like attention, it's like people are going to be watching, so you want to make sure you put your best foot forward when your time comes. And then as a team, I think the same. Like we use it very much as like motivation that we've proven ourselves to get to this point to just to yeah basically to prove to the world that or the country that we deserve to be in the spot that we've been given. So it's definitely a motivated motivation. So
But you speak of some of your accomplishments already this season. You've already surpassed a home run season total from last year, where you had 11. This year you've got 13. You're about to pass the RBI season mark right now. Just what has changed, if anything, in your overall game from a year ago?
um I mean, I don't know if not really anything has changed like I don't know, like I don't even know if much has changed. Just obviously spending a lot of time like in the cages in the weight room, stuff like that. Obviously, is going to come to fruition once you step in the box. But I think just the hunger to be good, because I think there are some points last year where I felt like that I can do better, like I could be better for my team at certain points, and so I use that as motivation to work in the off season and to just come out and to perform well for my team.
Let's talk about some of your teammates. Who are some of the offensive players, for those that may not be aware, that have stood out? Because it's not just a one-person show. So
No.
there's others that have helped you.
Definitely. Georgia Hood, our first baseman and our three-hole hitter, has had a huge impact in our team. Joining us last year as a utility player, first baseman, pitcher, and like she's hitting over 400 this year. Like she has definitely made an extreme impact with power, just like overall leadership, I think. She has definitely been just a huge impact on our team. And like she's always on base, always just encouraging us to stay in the moment, not don't let it get too big, just because of all of her experience and like the national level and stuff like that. So she's been a huge part of our team.
And of course, you've got a pitching staff that has also helped you out with one of the best pitchers in the country that maybe is under the radar.
Yeah, Nicolette Pacone is unreal in the circle. Like I've never seen movement like hers at all. Like her drop ball, curveball, like I've never seen anything like it. And she's definitely held it down in the circle for us and has just been absolutely dominant this season. I can't wait for the rest of the country to see like how much work she's put in and how much she deserves this honor.
You all, as a team, had made a major improvements last year, but this year it seems like as a group had taken a different level, and it really, I would imagine, began with that win over Georgia Tech twice and beating Kentucky in Atlanta. What do you remember about that weekend? Was that a big turning point from a confidence standpoint?
I think so, definitely. We didn't. I mean, obviously, we came in wanting to win, like knowing the lineup that we had going into that tournament. We wanted to come out swinging, and we knew that we would have to put our best foot forward. And I think just coming out there and playing our game and not like letting the moment get too big with like the other team on the other side. I think that was really good for us. Like we were able to stay grounded, play our game, and just come out like aggressive and play fast, play fun. Like we had a great time. Like it was just a blast. So I think just um, not letting it get too big is a very big deal for us, and just playing the game that we love and just having fun.
You're clutch too. You hit a home run in both games in the wins over Georgia Tech, and then of course the most recent one, South Carolina. You hit a home run in that fifth inning as you were held on to knock off South Carolina. What do you? Which of those home runs do you have a personal favorite? If of those three home runs, because those are pretty. All of them were significant.
I gotta say the South Carolina one. I think that was just it was it was super fun with all the environment around us, like within like doing it at South Carolina just made I think it meant more to us, and just that whole environment with how loud it was, and we had a bunch of fans come out and support us, and I think to me personally that one stands out the most.
What did what have you? What has been the difference you think from this year's say to last year's team? What were some of the subtle differences you've noticed? That some traits that you've seen that this makes this team pretty potentially very special here. Because you took steps last year, but it's like I said, you've taken some big steps this year. And it feels like there's some more. Maybe you learned some things from last year.
Yeah, I definitely think we've learned, especially because we have a ton of returners. So I think we've definitely taken what we've learned last year and some of the games that we've dropped and some of the games that we lost, um, just to taking it into this year with the new freshmen and some transfers coming in. We've definitely just moved forward. We've definitely focused on moving forward from last year and not like going back to where we were. But overall, I think the biggest thing is just team chemistry. I think the team this year gets along so well, and that we all are rooting for each other, no matter who's in the box, who's in the circle. It didn't matter. It doesn't matter who it is. Like we're all cheering for everyone else's success, and I think that's just the main thing. Like a bunch of teamwork, bunch of team chemistry is probably the major thing that I can think of.
Who are the leaders on the team?
Georgia Hood for sure. She's definitely one of the biggest things. And Kirsten Roos, our second baseman, who's also having a really good year. Those two are definitely probably like our top leaders that I can think of. Maddie Jennings behind the plate, she's been huge for us back there too. Probably those are probably our three top leaders that are like either lead by example or lead like vocally, like on the field, off the field. Like those are the ones that stand out to me, I would say.
Describe the coaching staff that you play for.
I love our coaches. We have a lot of good dynamics with the team. Coach Green is obviously our head coach, and like I love playing for Coach Green. Like she always encourages us to be like our best. Like she's always pushing us and putting us in different situations to know that no matter what situation that we're put in, that we can overcome it and do all that. And then Coach Daniker is obviously our hitting coach. She's always making it more difficult in the cages, so it always seems easy on the field, which is really a really big help for us, especially with some of the pitching that we've seen. And then Coach Q was our new assistant coach coming in this year, and she's made a big impact with the pitching staff, I think. And then just her overall energy, and her being like a Coastal alum as well. Like she's always talking about how like in the past this is what we do, this is how we move forward. So having her like her input from like past teams to know how to move forward with that has been huge. And then Coach Cass is like all of our biggest cheerleaders. Like we love her to death, and she's always keeping an eye on the little things. Like we've won huge games off her, like either catching someone leaving early from a base, or like just certain situations that she always has her eye on it, and we've definitely won big games because of her. So I mean, overall, our coaching staff is just awesome, and I've enjoyed playing for them the last 3 years.
Describe being a Coastal Carolina Chanticleer student athlete.
I mean, I love going to Coastal. Like, I think we have a really good game day feel. It doesn't matter like what sport you play. And we also have like a ton of just support, I think. Like, we always have different people coming to games. We always go out and support other sports, and like just in general, like the overall atmosphere of game day, or like everything leading up to game day, like it's all been super supportive. And we have people that even who aren't athletes that will always come out and support or always ask us how we're doing. And yeah, I mean, the last 3 years have been super fun for me. It's like I have no, I don't know, like it's been super fun. I've enjoyed it.
Well, and of course, everybody remembers Coastal baseball program helped put the school on the map with their run and winning the national title, getting to Omaha in the College World Series. How much does that inspire you and your teammates that you could do the same in the softball and get that or getting that fan support that the baseball program has gotten?
I mean, it's always something that we look forward, like we always work towards. Obviously, we always see that banner out in center field for the baseball team. Like we won 2016, which is always super cool. Like that's one of the first things you see once you're driving by campus. So it's always something that it's like we can use it as motivation, know that they can get there. And with like the season that they had, like we can have that season and work towards, and we are more than capable of getting there and more than capable of doing and completing that same thing. So it's obviously using as motivation. And I mean, we always have good supporters come out with us, but I mean, it'd be super fun to have that kind of like fan impact and stuff like that they have. But I mean, we're very grateful for what we do have and the fans that come out.
Well, I have a feeling you might have some bigger crowds coming up here with Texas State this weekend, and of course Louisiana as Sunbelt gets going. That's going to be getting bigger and bigger on there. I want to ask you. You're from Idaho.
I am, yes.
So the obvious question I have to ask, and I'm sure the audience wants me to ask you, is how does a kid from Idaho end up in Conway there in coastal Carolina?
Um, the recruiting process was very interesting, especially with, you know, COVID was a huge impact on us, especially my recruiting class. Um, but the coolest thing about why, like one of the reasons why I chose Coastal was that even amidst the COVID and all of that stuff, they came out and we had one of the biggest travel ball tournaments down in Southern California, PGF Nationals. And my eighth grade year, um, they saw me play and we won the 2018 Platinum National Championship that year. And so they came out and saw me then, and then saw me my freshman year, and then just continued to watch me, apparently. And then my junior year on September 1st, like at midnight my time, which I lived in Oregon at the time, which is like a 3 hour time difference. They emailed me out midnight, which is 3 a.m. here, and was like, "Hey, we're interested. This is what we want you. Like we want you, blah blah blah," and then continued to talk to me through that whole process. So immediately I knew that like this was a place that I wanted because they wanted me and they wanted um like they just put in that effort and did everything they could amidst like the COVID rules and all of that. Um, and it just made me feel that I was wanted here and stuff like that. So it was, I mean, I didn't know like I didn't really care where I really went to college. Like it was just based on if I loved the school, loved the coaches, where I went. And so, I mean, and I loved it here. So, like, love the campus, love the coaches, and all of that. So, sucks that it's far away from home, but I
They
mean,
showed you loyalty, right? That was commitment
yeah,
and loyalty there that you probably appreciated.
yes, absolutely, absolutely. And they've continued that loyalty through here, and I've never once felt that like disarray at all. So,
I was transitioning. You're a West Coast girl, getting used to life in Conway, South Carolina.
it was it was hard. I mean, I didn't spend a lot of time on the East Coast growing up. Like I went to Jersey once for a tournament when I was like in seventh grade. I don't know, but it was. I think the biggest thing was definitely like the weather, because the weather is completely different on this side. Because like the humidity, we don't have humidity over there. Like especially not to this, not to this extent by any means. And then coming out here in like the middle of summer, so it was like the middle of July, and it was like 95, 100% humidity was like, what am I getting myself into type of thing. But I mean, I love it because I'm such warm weather. Like if it's warm, I'm there. Like, and I like that the cold here is still considered warm where I'm from. So it's like, I mean, it didn't take that long for me to really adjust. I think the biggest thing to adjust was just time away from my family because I'm a very family oriented person, and being away from like my two younger siblings and my parents and all my grandparents and family out there was probably the biggest thing. But they make a big sacrifice and stuff to come out here like as much as they can. So I appreciate it.
Could be worse places to visit. I'm just saying.
Oh
It's,
yeah.
right? Like, describe that. What is that area like? Because you have the luxury of being in that region. Not only in the area, but you could drive to a lot of different computer. Like, I love the whole Carolina region. I've driven through North Carolina and South Carolina. There's a lot of beautiful areas, places to see. Like, what are some areas you would recommend for people that visit?
I mean, you come to South Carolina, you got to go to Myrtle Beach. So I mean, like
Yeah.
you got to go to the beach, you got to go. It's super nice, and comparing like both the West Coast beaches to East Coast beaches, like, I mean, I can't lie, I love the East Coast beach. I love Myrtle Beach. So I mean, obviously you got to go to the beaches, but I mean, personally, I don't really get to explore that whole lot because I don't have a ton of time with softball, but I've gotten to explore, like, I get to go over to like Columbia, Charleston. A bunch of my teammates are very avid concert goers, so I get to travel and go to like a bunch of concerts and stuff and go see.
Ooh, there you
Um,
go.
yeah, just get to go explore anytime we go somewhere new for a concert. So, I mean, there's a ton of stuff to do over here. So I mean, you got to come and basically see it for yourself.
First, how far is Myrtle Beach from the campus?
Oh, maybe 20 minutes.
Woo! Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's pretty
Hmm.
good. That's a good
Yeah.
endorsement there because it's funny because a lot of people think you reside in Myrtle Beach. It's not accurate. You're in Conway, but a lot of people, because in the past, Myrtle Beach would get referenced a ton when it comes to Coastal Carolina and athletics back in a few years back. So that's very good. You mentioned concerts. Do you have a favorite concert you've been to?
My favorite concert since being here,
Yeah.
I went to, where did I go to? I went to a a John Party concert in Charleston back for my birthday last year. And then I went to for my birthday this past year, I went to Parker McCollum over in Simpsonville over
Okay.
there. Yeah, so we go if there's a concert that's affordable and we're off, like we're gone. Like that's where we go for fun and stuff. So
I like that. You were a multi-sport athlete coming out of high school, correct?
yes,
You played softball, obviously. What were the other, for those who may not be aware, what sports you played?
I played basketball all through high school.
Got through the All-State Championship, right? As a basketball player?
We
Were
were
you an
close.
All-State close?
We were
But you
close.
were,
Yeah.
but you were a really good basketball player. Both like, how would you compare you as a basketball player versus a softball player?
Um, compare is kind of hard because when I was younger, I always knew I wanted to be a softball player. So it was like I
Really?
put more work. Yeah. So putting more work into softball on the off side was more than basketball, I would say. But I think that if roles were reversed and I wanted to go play basketball and put in more work on that side, I think I could have gotten to a pretty good level,
So
I
basketball
would
is a
say.
hobby. Basketball is more of a hobby, type of like
Yeah,
on the
I would
side.
say so.
What position
Yeah.
did you play?
All of them besides center, I think. Yeah, like all through like my freshman and sophomore year, I was more of like a probably more of like a shooting guard and then like a power forward sometimes. And then my senior year, I was a point guard. So
There you go.
yeah, I mean, I was just kind of all over the place wherever they needed me.
That's good. Athletic. You can be very versatile. That's basketball in a nutshell nowadays. There. So you mentioned you wanted to play softball. What got you interested in playing softball?
Both my parents played sports. So like my mom played softball in high school. My dad played baseball and football in college, and then went on to got he got drafted by the Oakland A's um, back in the day and played all the way through the minors. Got some spring training starts and stuff like that. So that's always been just like what I've done. And my dad has been like a huge part of my success and like where I am now. Like he is like I would not be where I am right now if he wasn't in my life. And so just him and like that background and having his experience and all of his coaching and stuff like that is probably what led me to softball in the end. Even though like they never like pressure me into one sport or the other, it was just one that I fell in love with at a young age, and having all that support behind and all that knowledge just kind of just pushed it to be like, yeah, that's what I want to do.
What college did he play baseball at?
He played baseball at Portland State.
and got drafted by the A's. That's pretty a big
Hmm.
accomplishment there. Is he upset that they have moved the franchise to Sacramento and then eventually Vegas? Is it looks like, is he upset about that, or is he not that invested as an A's guy there? No, okay.
No.
I was curious. I was just curious because that's been a hot topic in Major League Baseball there with the A's. That's so he's probably one of the favorite people you obviously looked up to as you were playing sports. Did you have any other favorite athletes you looked up to?
Favorite athletes. I mean, for the biggest, like the longest time, like I've watched a ton of sports. I think for in like the I watched more baseball than I did really anything else. I mean, like
Sure.
football and basketball, obviously, but like baseball was one of the main things that I watched. And then like growing up, like we were big Yankee fans. So I mean, obviously, like I watch Aaron Judge, Didi Gregorius when he was on the team, just like just a bunch of people like through that organization.
Sure.
Yeah, so it's like just kind of going like getting to watch them and just be like, yeah, like I want to do that someday. Obviously, like not doing that, but like wanting to get to like the highest level possible and just seeing like just how much fun that they had just like playing and stuff like that. So
Well, you've been smashing the ball like Aaron Judge this year, so you're doing really well. What do you have plans post softball? Have you thought of what your plans are once whenever your softball career ends?
um not quite like nothing's really set in stone. As of right now, I'm going to school to be an athletic trainer, just to stay around sports. Like my whole life has been sports, so I don't know what it would be like if I just like completely stopped either watching or going or being involved. So doing that, and then obviously, like if my opportunity comes, like I would love to play pro ball or even for like the Olympics. Olympics has been like my goal since I was a kid. Like that's been the big dream is to go play there, and play for my country has been one of the biggest things that I've ever wanted to do. But I mean, yeah, I mean that's just the far off distance future goals
Sure.
whenever.
No, that's good. How did the Olympics interest you as a youngster? Because softball just got back. I know it played. Was it the softball Olympics? Was it just the Olympics in general you wanted to be a part of? What got you interested in as that as a goal and a dream?
I think we always watched the Olympics, and I always watched like baseball, like we always watched basketball, we always watched like gymnastics and all that stuff, and I always thought like being like if softball was ever put like came back into be the Olympics, like hey, I want to be at the biggest stage, like I want to represent my country and go out and play against other countries and represent um just one of the best countries in the world and like be able to show my talents and like on the biggest stage. So like that's always been something that I wanted to do.
Describe the feelings when you got that last out and you docked off South Carolina, who obviously at that point was a big story, top 10. What was those feelings like for you and as a team?
I mean, I think immediately was like, thank goodness we got out of that inning, because that was a very stressful couple innings and outs. But immediately it was just um, like we all had like the hope to beat them, and it was always
Sure.
just like once it finally happened, it was just like we can beat literally anybody if we play the way we play and we keep calm and just go out, have fun, and play the game that we love. Like it was just like shots against the world is basically what we were thinking. Um, and it was just like a big just not that we put like a bunch of pressure on ourselves, but like kind of like a weight lifted because it's like
Sure.
yeah, like we can do this. Like we can come out and play against the best teams in the country and do just as well as anybody else. So it was just really really fun and just like yeah, just a big just relief, I would say.
You're obviously underway in Sunbelt play. You know, it's a top six league once again. The good news for you is some great pitchers graduated. Jessica Mullins graduated. Olivia Lackey graduated, among others. The bad news is that the league is still strong.
Hmm.
Describe playing in the Sunbelt.
I think people definitely underestimate the Sun Belt. The Sun Belt has been a very competitive league for a long time. And like you have ULL being in the top 25 for years. And so I think definitely people like underestimate it. And I love playing in the Sun Belt because you get like a wide range of just like a bunch of different teams from a bunch of different places that I personally have never been or heard of being from the West Coast. So I mean, I love playing and traveling to all of these schools. And I think uh, that if you can beat a team like the best team in the Sun Belt, you can compete against any other team like in the country because it's like there's there's such like a big drop, like not a big drop off, but like I feel like people in their minds think there's such a big difference between like a power four and like a mid major like type of type of conferences. And I mean, in hindsight, in some teams there are, but like overall, if you think like just overall in general, like there's not that big of a difference. And I think that if you just like we can play against and be in like the top of our conference, and then we can go out and play South Carolina, we can play Kentucky and play just as well and be just as successful. So, I mean, I love playing in the Sun Belt. It makes us better, and I think it gives us the motivation to we can beat these teams, we can go out and play anybody else.
No doubt, and the league has proven that over the years. And I think even last year, I know there was metrics that had the Sun Belt as the top four conference in the sport, ahead of a Big Ten, for example. And they're very close this year. There, you face Texas State; they're the defending champions, conference tournament champions. Of course, you got Louisiana defending regular season champions coming in the following weeks. What's going to be the keys for your team here moving forward in the Sun Belt to continue this great season and accomplish your goals, which I'm sure are big aspirations to get to postseason in the NCAA's. But what are some things you think as a team you have to do to accomplish that here moving forward the rest of the year?
I think we have to come out and just be aggressive. We have to come out, we have to be aggressive, and we just have to come out, we have to hit. Like that's a really big thing. Like we got to come out with our bats and know that we can come out and hit to our best potential. Like if we hit, like we are very hard to beat. So because our pitchers hold it down in the circle time and time again, and so if we can come in behind them and give them like some reassurance with our bats, like I think we will put up a very good fight, and it'll be a really tough series because they're both two really good teams. And I mean, me personally, I'm looking forward to it. Like I'm so excited to play these teams. I've never played Texas State before,
Really?
so
Oh, that's right, because the league is so big,
yeah.
you don't play everybody. That's right.
Yeah, so I'm super excited to come out and play them this weekend. And then I'm really excited for ULL next weekend. I always love playing against ULL. They're such a good team, and I think it brings out the best just in us when we play really good teams. So I'm super excited, and I think we're in to put up a pretty good fight against both of them.
My last question to you: there's going to be maybe casual fans that are be coming out this weekend to see you play for the first time in person. What? How would you describe yourself as a player and then your team for this casual fan that's going to come out? Can they expect to see?
Um, that's a good question. They'll expect to see energy. We're a very high energy team. So expect to see yelling on the field, yelling in the dugout, just constant chatter. Um, Personally, for me, I try to keep very like level-headed. Uh, I'm not like obviously I very much show emotion when like team does well, and you'll hear me screaming and talking the entire time. But I try to just like be very focused in on the game, like to limit the outside noise and stuff like that. So I would just say to expect a lot of energy, ton of yelling when even like little successes happen. But just expect to have a ton of fun and to be energetic because that's what we're going to do. And we're hoping that the fans really catch on to that and help us just win the energy war, if anything.
Should be a lot of fun out there. Coastal Carolina hosting Texas State this weekend. We'll be following the action. Delaney Keith joining us here on In the Circle on D1 Softball. Hey, thank you so much for coming on. I know you just finished practice. You got stuff to do, classes, life. But it was good to meet you there. I've enjoyed watching you play through your career, especially this year, and I'm glad you're getting all the accolades that you've been getting publicly. Good luck the rest of the way, and thanks for coming on here on In the Circle on D1 Softball.
Thank you so much.